Hello, today I'm going to talk to you about the physics of fencing. But before I begin, let's talk about the three basic swords involved in fencing. In fencing matches involving a foil sword, the torso is the only target. In matches using an épée sword, the whole body is the target. Both foil and épée matches can last up to 9 minutes fencing time. And finally, a saber is used to target the waist up. Unlike épée and foil matches, saber matches can be over in a matter of seconds. So, now that we've talked about the three types of blades, let's talk about how the blade itself moves. We'll begin with a lunge. During a lunge, the fencer increases his acceleration very quickly and pushes off from his back foot. During the lunge, the fencer's sword goes almost as fast as a bullet. However, if the opponent were to counterattack this lunge, then you would have a perfect example of Newton's very first law of motion, involving inertia. You see, inertia is defined as the tendency of an object to remain at rest or in motion. So if Guy 1 were to perform a lunge and Guy 2 were to defend against that lunge with a parry, and if their blades met, then that would be a perfect example of the part of Newton's first law that I forgot to write down, which is objects in motion tend to stay in motion unless acted upon by an outside force. So, although Guy 1 tried to successfully pull off a lunge, his plan was foiled by Newton's first law of motion. Now let's move on and talk about the fleisch move. This would be what I consider my favorite move in fencing. During this move, a fencer dashes past his opposition by bringing his supporting leg in front of his leading leg, which is quite unusual for fencing. This move would not be possible without momentum. A very important concept in physics. Momentum can be simply calculated by multiplying mass and velocity. So if the fencer's mass is 57 kilograms and his velocity is 5 meters per second, then his overall momentum performing this move is 285 kilograms times meters per second. Well, that's all for now. But since you may be curious, the force of the blade itself can be calculated by mass, or our fencer's body weight, times acceleration, or the speed of the sword itself. Well, thanks for watching! I hope that you enjoyed learning about the physics of fencing as much as I did.